This one's called Tippi Hedren and Not the Birds.
This one's for the Tippies.
So on the set of her first film, which was Alfred Hitchcock's 1963, The Birds.
Was that her first movie?
Yeah. She was a model before that. Then she became that was her first actress. First time as being There's a scene where her character, Melanie...
First time she saw a bird also.
What the hell is this? It's a little plane?
Is this a velociraptor? I know a lot about dinosaurs, but what is this?
There's a scene in The Birds where her character, Melanie Daniels, is trapped inside of a bedroom and she's being attacked by an onslaught of rabid, angry birds. To best portray the...
No relation.
So to best portray the terror of the scene and also to get his rocks off the only way he knew how, he had a bunch of prop men viciously throw real birds at her, gulls and ravens and crows, at Tippi Hedren for 5 days. One of the birds gouged her cheek and narrowly missed her eye. The experience was really traumatizing. Thus began a long and complicated relationship with animals.
That's upsetting.
Yeah, no, I love that movie, and hearing that, I kind of don't want to watch it anymore. The Birds was a huge success, and after that, there was another Hitchcock film, Marnie, where he threw a whole brood of Marnies at her.
He kept throwing the color red at her, and it gouged her cheek.
Imagine that. Almost took her eye out.
This bird will take your eye out, Tippi.
Her career continued on, but our story here starts in 1969.
I can think of someone who wanted to pull licked. What? Remember those kids last month we told to listen to the Pets one? Stay tuned next month.
We'll keep trying. We'll keep riding line between being for adults and being for kids and pick neither one. Her career continued on. Like I said, our story starts in 1969 in North Africa on the set of Satan's Harvest. While on location, Tippi and her husband at the time, Noel Marshall, met a not terrifying lion named Dandelion, who was a dandelion. The two of them became very interested after meeting Dandelion in big cats. After that, they took a trip to Mozambique. There was a huge game preserve there, and it was there that they saw an abandoned house inhabited by 30 lions and their cubs, sleeping in window frames, resting on the porch swing. It was like a maddened house, and a pride took over. So there was just lions all over the house.
That's a lion tenement.
It's the sequel to Lion King where they move in.
Lion King 2, Heavy as the Crown.
A home like regular people, and they start wearing pants and stuff. It was what some would call an animal house. So the two of them were really getting fascinated by the sight of a bunch of lions living in a house. And it wasn't long before the two of them were struck by the idea of creating a film about it, which is what Hollywood people do. So they decided to do it. A movie about lions living in a house. That's what the idea was. So they wanted to show everybody this image that they saw. So they wanted to do a movie about lions living in a house. So back in the States, they began shopping around and asking questions to animal trainers. And someone told them that they couldn't just force a bunch of adult lions from different packs, different prides to live together and expect it to go well.
I've seen Big Brother. I think they can.
We'll film every angle of it.
They have to do challenges too, or else no one will be interested.
What needed to be done was they had to create a pride of their own of about 50 homegrown lions, introducing one at a time to their new environment. What's funny about this is that everything that happens makes logical sense in regards to sequence. We want to make a movie about lions. We need lions. Lions are going to cohabitate. They're going to have trouble cohabitating, so they need to adjust. We're going to make our own pack, so we'll get a pack. So you keep taking steps, but if you take a step back, it's a bunch of Hollywood actors buying lions to make a pride.
Well, who's going to build the house?
Lions got to build the house.
We're going to need to train a lot of badgers to build a house. The carpenters of the animal kingdom.
The Amish of the animal kingdom. So there was an animal rental business in the Soledad Canyon, which is in Santa Clarita, which is where we meet Neil the lion.
Neil the lion.
Kneel before the lion, Neil the lion. There was a Life magazine spread that I got really into. I saw pictures. Oh, baby. I saw pictures online a while ago, and it's Tippi Hedren, her family, Mallion Griffith, is her daughter, obviously, and there's a lion in their house. And I thought, I'll just write about that.
Griffith, by the way, an animal that's kind of part lion. Go on.
Griffin.
Or that's Griffin.
Griffin. Almost there, though.
Isn't it Griffin Park?
So that's why I got interested in the story. It's not as simple as just Neil the lion, but Neil was their first lion that they had. Neil wasn't like all those other lions you see on TV that maul people. Neil was different. Neil liked to be hugged. He was very friendly.
This is the kind of lion that Alfred Hitchcock makes kill people. Homie, don't play that.
I'm not going to tell you about the long conversation today. I had somebody about Jamie Foxx and how long I've been watching Jamie Foxx and thinking, that's right, he's been with me my entire life.
May Jamie Foxx be with all of you your entire life. Go on.
And the silent cross.
Two crosses, slightly askew so that they're X's.
The man running the animal rent. Thank you, that was funny. It took me a second.
You're welcome.
Do my job. So the man running the animal rental service was Ron Oxley. He said, if you want to know anything about lions...
Wait a minute. Does everyone in this story...
They all have animal names.
You're reading the script of Zootopia.
This was written by Walt Disney. What's the problem?
Walt Disney's last movie, Zootopia. Someday I want to make a movie about the bureaucracy of the animal kingdom.
It's for kids. So Ron Oxley's the man who runs the animal rental service in Soledad Canyon. He says, if you want to know anything about lions, you have to live with them for a while.
Why did you marry him?
So Tippi and her husband thought, okay, that's fair. Let's keep Neil, the 400-pound lion, as a pet in Sherman Oaks, where they lived off of Beverly Glen on Nob Hill Drive.
So there was a lion living in Sherman Oaks?
Yeah. No,
Wow.
It's more than just a lion. But yeah, there was a lion there. So the whole family became involved in caring for Neil, helping to feed and care for him. He even shared the bed with Tippi's daughter, Melanie, who, if you don't know, like I said, is Melanie Griffith.
She let her little daughter sleep in bed with a lion that they just adopted? A
Yeah.
fully grown lion that has not known them since birth?
Well, what I was reading was they had it as a cub, but I think that, I don't know, I think it's like 5 weeks to 5 months is where they usually grow into from like cubs to lions. I don't know for sure. I don't know if you've ever seen the Life magazine spread they did, but there's a full-grown lion in bed with a little girl, and it's terrifying because the size of the lion is just like, hi, but it's like takes up half the, it's a lot of pictures like that.
I've always wanted to hug a lion or a bear, but I don't know if I would fall asleep with my neck pointing towards them.
No, yeah, for sure. I wouldn't like kick it in its sleep.
You accidentally punch it in the nose and it accidentally eats your face.
It accidentally bites the top part of my body off. If you see the pictures, there's one where Tippi is resting her back against the lion as if he was on a couch. Like she's just like resting on it. He's laying by
Sure it wasn't just the lion skin from the MGM lion?
Oh, it's Jackie.
Yeah, it's the skin of the MGM lion on a jaguar. That's what I meant.
Neil's laying by the pool. He's sharing a bed with Melanie. He's messing around with the fridge. He's doing things that like regular cats do. Okay, you know how like a cat, where you're playing with a cat and it'll like put its teeth on your finger like it's teething?
Yeah.
It's doing that to Melanie Griffith's head, but like it's like a
Oh my
lion.
God.
After Neil came Casey, who came from another physician who had a lion as a pet.
Wait a minute. At the same time, they kept adding...
into the house. So that house in Sherman Oaks had like a couple lions. Nija was another lion, a cub they had there. Then there was Mike and Ike, Trans and Bridget, all adorable.
One of them was cinnamon flavored.
Reading some of these stories, it sounded like Swiss Family Robinson in Sherman Oaks. They needed to bar up the kitchen windows because Gregory, the Siberian tiger...
Of course. Wait a minute. Why'd they bring a tiger in?
It wasn't just going to be lions. Eventually they had like tigers.
You know what comes... I mean, first comes lion, then comes tigers. You know what happens next.
You know what? You know, I really hate wordplay.
You did it. I was just telling you that a bear's coming. Oh my.
You grabbed my hand and led me into it. They had to like bar up the windows because Gregory, the Siberian tiger, kept trying to climb through the kitchen window. They're like, stop. You're like a giant thing.
I just want to go to Casa de Cadillac. What's the big deal?
One of the animals there, I think it might have been a tigon.
Is that what I think it is? A mixture of
a mixture of lion and tiger.
And a Tide Pod?
Yeah, that's it. It's a tadpole and a tiger. They took over one of the offices there at the house for like 3 months, allowing no one inside while she trained her cub. David, who was another lion, went to Africa for a commercial. Los Angeles, even the animals have commercials. Eventually, Ron Oxley would inspire Tippi to take in 5 more cubs to raise at her Sherman Oaks home, watching them grow from being big old cubs to terrifying-looking lions. After some of her neighbors in the valley were complaining, Tippi Hedren bought the Soledad Canyon animal rental area and turned it into a preserve for lions, calling it Shambala, which is ancient Sanskrit for a meeting place of peace and harmony for all beings, animal and human. That sounds like a trap. Anyways, her Sherman Oaks home would become a transition area for the lions to get used to the family, and then Shambala would be used for them to move into the Pride. Let's keep this in mind. We're still doing all of this to make a movie about lions living in a house.
She's still raising a Von Trapp family of lions. This is all in preparation. They're leading up to their Infinity War. I'll put it in terms you can understand.
And I did, and now I'm super excited. But it must have been around this point that Tippi's intense move from movie making to animal activism. She might not have realized it, but now she's just growing a pride of animals. And like she wants to say, oh, we're getting ready for a movie, but like clearly not just that. She moved to the animal compound surrounded by lions, tigers, and a couple of African elephants and some other exotic felines that she bought for the film. Shambhala was no place for harmony, though, maybe between the animals and the people, but it was a nightmare of natural disasters. They had floods and they had fires. They had to evacuate for some of those.
I hope they had 2 of each.
Why are you building a boat? Imagine being in Santa Clarita and there was a flood and everyone was evacuating, and then there was just an elephant.
And
like, what's happening?
A lion floats by. Didn't that happen in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
A cow floats by. A cow floats by a roof.
Just
of a
as
house.
Scary.
Shambhala was the first birthplace in captivity, anyways, of a Thai tigon. So a tigon is the offspring of a lion and tiger, as we said. A Thai tigon comes from the mating of a tigon and a tiger. So abominations.
Oh my God! This is sick. This is the island of Dr. Hedren.
So by the end of 1979, the house count ran 71 lions, 26 tigers, 10 cougars, 9 black panthers, 4 leopards, 2 jaguars.
Speaking of the Avengers.
2 jaguars, 1 tiger, 2 elephants, 6 black swans, 4 Canadian geese.
Speaking of Darren Aronofsky.
Swear to God. I swear to God.
Swear to dog. Swear to me.
7 flamingos, 4 cranes, 2 peacocks, and a marabou stork.
What's a marabou? Is that like a caribou?
I think it's a stork.
Oh, a marabou stork.
A stork.
Okay.
It's one
that's
animal.
where. Well, that's where the baby. That's how the babies
That's
got
the baby.
there.
That's how they had grandchildren.
So you said they have 71 lions there?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
They're gonna need a bigger house.
So let's not forget about the movie. Originally titled,
Can't we?
Don't worry, it's unforgettable. The movie was originally titled Lions, Lions, and More Lions, which is something that we would have done. But thankfully, it was changed to Roar and was in production at this time. So
I've heard about this.
we'll get to it.
Oh, no. I think I know how this story ends.
Yeah. Apparently, it was 11-year production, but I don't know if they counted raising the animals as production, but it was mayhem.
It's a reproduction.
I talked to the Tigon. By this time, having spent almost 7 years with a collection of animals, it was relative mayhem. So, like, it's as much mayhem as raising a bunch of wild animals and them not killing each other all the time. So,
Did any of them ever kill each other? Do you know?
No, I didn't read any stories about that. The story of Roar about the movie is about a scientist making a study of big cats in Africa. His family comes to visit him. He's not home, but when they arrive, the family has to run room for room, seeing a house full of lions, which is what
This
they
is a
wanted to
fiction
do.
movie.
The fiction movie, yeah. Until he comes home, and then poachers get involved. That was how they turned what they saw in Africa into a movie. It's not important what the movie's really about because it wasn't very successful, but people tend to go back and watch it because it's billed as the most dangerous movie ever made.
Yeah.
Why? In the making of the film, it is said that 70 cast members were injured in a variety of manners, although
One for each lion.
although Tippi Hedren claims that it was closer to 7. Even there, though, but
Come on, it was only 7.
It was 7. Most of the footage capturing the injuries was included in the final cut of the film, resulting in real blood on the screen.
Really?
Real, like, terror. Hedren was bitten in the neck.
Please say
Sorry.
it was by the stork.
One more time. Hedren was bitten in the back of the neck by a lion and suffered a fractured leg and multiple scalp wounds.
Oh my God.
Melanie Griffith clawed in the face and needed facial reconstructive surgery. Her husband, Noel Marshall, was wounded so many times he was hospitalized with gangrene. An AD narrowly escaped death when a lion missed his jugular by an inch.
Oh my God.
And the director of photography, Jean Desbont, was effectively scalped when a lion bit him and tore off the top of his head and needed 220 stitches.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Why did they choose now to? They were biding their time.
Yeah.
Biting their time.
Listen, making movies is hard.
It was the craft services wasn't good enough. They were craft services.
So that's the physical losses. The financial losses.
Emotional losses.
The financial losses accrued something like $15 million after they only made $2 million back after spending $17 million producing the film. As for emotional losses, Noel and Tippi divorced not long after Roar was released, but Shambala is still active, still an active animal sanctuary. In 1983, the actress established the Roar Foundation, we shouldn't have called it that, to provide protection, shelter, care, and maintenance for the animals there at Shambala. The foundation also conducts educational programs and research, and Noel Marshall, her ex-husband, still continues to provide the bulk of Shambala's financial support.
Weren't you convinced like a year ago that Tippi Hedren was dead? Or was
No,
that Eva Marie Saint?
Eva Marie Saint.
Even though I had just been at the Hollywood Bowl and she walked out on stage and you still looked me in the eye and said, Eva Marie Saint is dead, Daniel.
Why were they talking about both On the Waterfront and Spider-Man and being like, she's dead? I wouldn't have come out of nowhere and be like, she's dead. Like, I saw a news thing. You
You're
saw
a liar.
Tippi Hedren. Tippi Hedren has since acknowledged that it was, quote, stupid beyond belief to put her family at risk by allowing an animal
Yeah,
with,
Tippi.
quote, no conscience or remorse genes to roam free. She has said that as I made the movie, I got into the issue of stopping the government from allowing people to breed lions and tigers as pets. They shouldn't be pets. They're apex predators, top of the food chain. One of the 4
Aside
of the
from
most
me.
dangerous animals in the world. They can't be pets. So she's now an advocate making sure people don't adopt these animals as pets, which is really responsible on her part. Shambhala safaris are now offered to the public, 18 years and older, twice a month on reservation basis. They cost $35 per person.
That's it?
Reservations must be made in advance. And from what I can tell, I'm not sure, but from what I can tell from my reading, you can go and Tippi Hedren can give you a tour.
Yeah.
For like a 4-hour tour.
I've heard that tour. I've heard that tour. I've heard that before.
Yeah, I've heard that tour. Yeah.